All right, guys. All right. Thank you for your time. My name is Satson. Today, I want to talk about the differences between version 4 and version 5. This is HTML. So we're talking about HTML4 and HTML5. What's the difference and why talk about it anyway? All right. HTML4 has been in use for over 10 years. Okay, so it has been the standard for web development for over 10 years until HTML5 was introduced, okay, a few years ago. So when there is a change in versions from one version to another, there is bound to be a lot of change that might confuse a few people. Okay, so this is what I want to clarify. All right, so the first thing that I want to clarify is how you declare your document as HTML4 or HTML5. As we are seeing at this document right now, this is HTML4, okay? This is how you declare your document as HTML4. All right, why is it important to declare a document in the first place? Because you are setting the standard of the rules that you are going to abide by. Okay, so once you declare something, you are telling the web browser that expect this and expect that. Okay, and these are the rules that I'm going to follow in designing my web page. So for HTML4, you had to declare it like this: doc type HTML public, and then HTML 4.01 transitional and stuff like that. All right, this is why when the browser recognizes this, it knows this is HTML4, okay, and it knows what to expect in the document. All right, let's look at the differences between this declaration. Now this is HTML5. Now, as you can see, the syntax is now better. It's now shorter. It's easier now to write, right? It's easier to remember. It's easier to recognize. This is HTML5. All right, so this is actually an improvement from HTML4 to HTML5. All right, as you can see, this seems like it's pointing to an external document, right? As you guys can see, it's pointing to an external document, but this is not. Okay, so that's the difference. So the declaration between these two versions is totally different. This is much cumbersome and this is much easier. All right, so that's one difference between these two. All right, and then the second difference is the tags used. Okay, all of this information might seem similar to you for those who are not really familiar with HTML, but there's kind of a difference. As you can see over here, there are no meta tags here, but here there are a lot of meta tags here. Okay, the other major difference between these two versions is the introduction of the video tag in this HTML5. In HTML4, for you to play a video on your website, you had to use a plugin. Okay, that means you had to go external. Okay, so you had to use the Flash plugin for you to play your videos in HTML4. But for HTML5, you don't necessarily have to use a plugin. You can just put in a video tag and then boom, you put your video on your web page. All right, that's one major difference. The multimedia, okay, video and audio in HTML5 is easy to put. You just put the video and audio tag, but in HTML4, you could not do that. All right, so that's one of the major differences that came with HTML5. All right, why talk about HTML4? Why not HTML5? All right, the other difference that matters is compatibility. All right, as you know that HTML4 has been in use for a very long time. It simply means that most browsers haven't catch up to this HTML5. So it's really important that you know how to use HTML4, because probably your browser might not be compatible with HTML5, so you have to be forced to use HTML4. So that's why we're talking about HTML4. So that's another difference. Browser compatibility. Okay, some browsers haven't catch up with HTML5, so you need to understand that first. Okay, so that's one of the major differences between these two. All right, so I hope you guys understood. But much of the rest of the information is almost kind of similar because HTML5 is kind of like an improvement from HTML4. It's just the syntax which has just improved, and some tags have been taken away from HTML4, and some have been introduced in HTML5 that did not exist in HTML4 and stuff like that. But in basic terms, it simply means that HTML5 is more advanced than HTML4. All right, so I hope you guys understood, and it's really important to understand these differences, because when you are learning HTML5, you come to understand that the issue of versions is really important. So thank you guys. We hope to see you in our next lesson.